Welcome back to Corny Dads Podcast.
Yo,
baby.
Finally. It's been
Episode
a long time.
14, I think. It's been months since we recorded.
Okay, we were at 14.
We
That's
crossed
cool.
over 10 a couple
That's
episodes ago. We're back at it. We've both been doing major Corny Dad stuff. Wouldn't you say that's the main thing?
Hella corny dad. Corny dad shit.
Yup. You've got 2 going on 3-year-old. I got 4 going on 5. So crazy stuff is happening in our lives with these little humans running everything.
Speaking of which, you might catch a bit of him throughout this episode. He's just in the other room playing on YouTube Kids because I'm a great dad.
Yeah, because that's totally different than what every other parent does. Every other parent totally doesn't just do the same exact thing because they have to.
I heard they never allow their kids to have screen time. And
Yeah.
If you give your kids screen time, you're terrible.
Well, you do live in the heart of a place where people judge for such things, but it's okay to do it sometimes.
It's true.
It's true. You know, we're a little harder than we need to be. I don't know. What I'm realizing, I have a good friend from the Midwest. Boy, is that a different lifestyle.
Who's who in this?
Dylan, Waldo Star.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Not to put him on blast. We love you, Dylan, but you're Midwestern.
But you're weird as shit because you're Midwest.
Well, your Midwesternness is much different than a West Coast lifestyle. Just the pace, mostly, the sort of care and attention that he puts into things in a loving way. Like his intention, he spends time on people, places, and things in a way that is up until recently, it was really foreign to me. With my West Coast raised having ass, I was like, why do you care and love so much stuff so much?
Minimal human interaction and move on.
Yeah. He does what he's dubbed the Midwestern goodbye, which is an hour and a half.
Yeah, of saying goodbye, and you have a conversation, and
Yeah. You have to take dabs during your Midwestern goodbye. It takes fucking forever, but I love it because it just means I get to hang out with him longer. So it actually works. Man. Yeah.
Dude, the Midwest goodbye is a real thing. Real thing.
Right? I was thinking when I die, I want to get a Midwest goodbye from Haley. No, that's a little morbid though. Anyways, we're going to move on. What do you think about the blue checks on Instagram? We're going to go right into that.
Are they doing that?
Instagram introduced Meta Verified, which is the blue check.
I saw the thing come through, but I didn't give it any attention or whatever. Do you have to pay for it?
You have to pay for it. Because, so we have to clarify, because blue checks have been a thing. You know, our favorite artists or athletes or whatever have blue checks, but you can now upload your photo ID and information and then pay $14.99 a month and get a blue check. So it's kind of a divisive thing. Do we pay for it or do we not? You know? I think it's a different case to case.
I know. The gut reaction is fuck that. No, it's free. You know, there was something free before. We're not paying for it now. It's just a fleece. I get it because especially, look at any glass artist that has been running auctions or doing dib stuff.
Right.
And every single one of them has to deal with scammers and is putting stuff out about hey, I don't contact you directly, a whole bunch of shit.
Right.
So you can see why, where it's coming from is because it's gone crazy with the amount of people.
Yeah. It's actually realistic. It's realistic to consider it now.
Yeah.
If you're someone who does what we do on Instagram, it's shoot, maybe I do. I think I'm going to go for it because it just provides a layer of legitimacy that kind of helps people trust when they don't have a connection of trust. It's different when people are friends of a friend, that's valuable and that's going to be a thing. But it helps when you can verify something outside of not needing anyone else to verify it. You can just have your blue check verify it. So I think it's worth it.
Dude, it's immediately my thought goes straight to the amount of times that someone has made a Ben Focus page with just an extra underscore on either side. So it
almost
looks
every day.
Exactly like your profile.
Right.
So
right. It's tricky. But the blue check, if people become conditioned to that and they're I look for the blue check, that would be a valuable way of doing it. I would suggest it if y'all are prospective customers. More of y'all who watch this podcast are more seasoned, so it doesn't necessarily apply to you. But if you have friends who are new to it or whatever, don't stray away from suggesting like, yeah, go for a blue check person, or at least someone you know. It wouldn't hurt. Blue check people are going to be pretty less likely to scam. Maybe it will be infiltrated, but I think it'll be pretty valuable.
I mean, it makes sense how it would be harder to scam at that point, because like, how are they going to upload their ID and say that they're you?
Right. It would be a tricky one to do.
Yeah.
And the more scammers who like try to upload their IDs, the more they'll get found out and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it'll weed itself out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tricky. Yeah. So what else has been going on around the house? You've been on vacation. You went to Colorado recently.
Yeah, Colorado recently. It was super fun. Got to see you living far away from family. Dude, it's rough.
That's crazy.
And having aging parents. I know my parents watch this, so sorry, Mom and Dad. We're going to get talking about this. But,
they're young.
Yeah. What, like... Said it a bunch. I've always had very, very active parents. My parents are still very active.
Yeah.
They've always gone, skiing. They've gone on hikes. They do big bike rides. They do, like multiple day bike rides. They'll go, multiple day rafting trips. So they're super active people.
Yeah.
And I mean, even though yes, they both went skiing this past trip. It was just they're older. They're not I've seen the dynamic of I was the kid with the parent and they're looking at their parents, my grandparents, and now it's that is very much
roles changed.
Yep, we've shifted. We've all shifted, and did you have to deal with death a lot growing up?
I did not much. I had grandparents who were advanced age. The only memories I have of my grandparents are of advanced age.
Like super old.
There's no part of my childhood where I had able-bodied grandparents who interacted in more than talking ways.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have that, so when they passed, I wasn't as shook.
Yeah.
And my family's just pretty cold, too. So while I've experienced a couple of deaths, nothing that has shaken me to the core.
That's the only reason I'm laughing.
Dead ass.
I'm going what? You didn't have people wailing and throwing themselves over the coffin at funerals? As my Italian fucking funerals happen? Every single one of them?
No, dude. No.
I was one of them at one of them, yeah.
I don't actually remember, I remember, the most recent funeral, but it was, less than 10 people and, silent.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was there's not the soul behind it that Midwesterners and families like yours have.
Yeah, my last one that passed was my nonni.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, the matriarch of our Benvenuti family, the one that held everyone
the
together.
Was just who passed also.
Yeah.
It brought a sense of clarity in an odd way. I don't mean to celebrate this because that would be wrong. I need to step lightly, but it wasn't the same as a void that's irreplaceable. I felt a sense of freedom that I haven't felt before, to be honest.
No shit.
Living in a family of oppression, it was a little freeing to know that some of the oppression is breaking down.
No shit.
Not to, you
Dude,
gotta step lightly.
No, I don't feel that you are not being mean or egregious or you are not falling foul right now.
Thanks. It's a tricky line.
You are being open and honest, and that's dude,
yeah.
It's whenever someone's bully gets the shit kicked out of him, you're not gonna be oh, I feel bad for that guy. It's no, motherfucker, he was beating the shit out of me forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
but I mean, yeah, you're being nice because she was a blood relative of yours.
Yeah, who meant lots to other family members. So it's been a bit of a confusing process. I wouldn't say I've really grieved in a weird way. Not to get all serious, but it's just had an interesting role in my life. I never felt very connected to my older family members, and they're really few and far between. And in their advanced age, they grew further and further and further and further and further from understanding any young person.
Okay.
So from the beginning, they already started, in my opinion, quite far. Not much in common or willingness to share interest or see what's up. What the heck? We're just at 10. Okay, it's just telling us we're at 10. We're all good.
I thought I'd stop recording. I was like, this is good shit.
I know, right? That's the problem. They think they're oh, we'll just, update the app. And it's like, well, no, it changes. It works differently now. That's okay. We're all good. Our audio is on point. Yeah, I just didn't have the same connection with older family members. And from the get-go, they've been really disconnected and, like, if you need something, holler. Otherwise, we out, like, type of vibe. So it's been, like, if I needed, like, realistically, if, like, as a young adult, if I needed financial help, a few family members were there to help me with, like, some, staying on my feet at the beginning. But that was separate from their heart being in it in a weird way. And I think that's kind of like a privileged thing. I got to check myself when I say that.
Yeah.
But there's like an emptiness that I grew up with that is like, I'm like full now because I have my own family and friends like you and other people who are like, there's actual love there is completely different than what I was raised with.
You're
like,
tapping into like a very real thing that's going on that we are seeing culturally shift, and that is movement away from community and individual and moving more towards an individualized existence. And dude, how many generations, how much fucking human evolution, how much human conditioning have we gone through over the period of human existence that was geared around survival is community.
A lot.
Most I mean, that is everything.
99.99.
Everything.
Percent.
Like, is community. So, like, for that societal of a change, like, we are living and experiencing it.
Yeah.
I'm very happy, though, to hear that you're starting to experience that, because it's...
Oh, yeah. I've, like, seen the light, basically just because people like you are nice to me, and not even, like, trying to, like, talk you up, dude. Deadass, like, you accepting me for my flaws and, like, bringing me in as a friend and making me feel included, and, like, showed me that it fucking existed, kind of. I've been harsh on myself and, like, I haven't gone there much with people, but now, like, I feel more connected than ever, because I'm, like, pretty average, just as imperfect as other people that I run into, and now I can see it like that. And not see it as me, like, falling way short. So I was always taught that I was, like, very separate.
Yeah.
Like, I would be like, Mom, these other people are doing this cool stuff I want to do or something. Like, we're not everybody else. It was, like, a theme throughout, like, my childhood.
Cool.
So I grew up, like, thinking, like, I can't do what people do or something. But then, like, you can, like, kind of see my trajectory. Like, I became an adult, and I'm like, oh, I can't.
Like everyone else.
Yeah, but I can do everything that people can do. Like, there's nothing stopping me now. So, like, yeah, it's pretty weird. Death has been freeing for me in some ways, in an odd way. But you want to approach that carefully, because, I'm going to eat my words someday. If I really think about it, like...
I see what you're saying, but...
Like, people have always been like, oh, aren't you sad? And shit. I'm like, really,
if you've had, like, if literally that person or that character, that influence in your life was any time you thought about them or any time they entered your existence, it was to make you feel less than or to make you feel not good, then, like, no shit, you're going to feel great whenever that person leaves. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
And it's not I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah. It's like you don't remember all the things that people say, but you'll never forget how they made you feel.
Yeah.
That shit started long ago. For everybody. Yeah. But for me, in relation to my family and my older family members, I'll never forget how they made me feel. I was just a child when they said whatever they said or spoke whatever they spoke, did whatever they did. I'll never forget how they made me feel, which is like shit. Like, they made me feel like shit. I was the only boy kid, too, so I had... a girl cousin, a girl sister, an aunt with no husband. My mom and dad were my dad's basically non-existent. My grandpa was the one who died. My grandma has women friends. My aunt has women friends. Our older family member friends are women. So I was completely boxed out of any understanding. The closest to me was my dad, who's 35, 37 years older than me. And he was just checked out. Like, just, like, isn't interested in what I like. So it's like, I just grew up, like, not having that.
Yeah.
So I just... It was dormant in me, dude. So when I became an adult, it was, like, a little much. I just had it all pent up. Like, I want to do everything. I want to make $1 million.
Those all the pins!
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's trippy.
Shit.
Yeah. It's just like a way different role.
Dude, Kubi, Queen Prince Glass on Instagram.
Shout out to Queen Prince Glass.
Fellow shopmate. Feels so weird to be able to like say shit like that, but like we've actually gotten to the point now where like, yeah, like this is a shop. We have a little bit of a culture here.
Let's go.
Dude, okay. Do you need to make notes? Because fuck. I want to talk about shop culture and something I talked about with someone else here.
Hey, recently. Remind us, guys. Yeah, remind us later.
But Kubi posted on their Insta yesterday. What, I'm going to get this wrong, but like, what is community to you and how do you participate in it? That was such a fucking good question.
That's a meaty question.
My favorite answer was because it's always him and Bryce smoking dabs in the basement. And like, I'll come down, like half asleep in my underwear and like take a dab and go back. I just feel like two dudes taking dabs in my basement while I come down to my undies.
There you go.
That's it.
All of our takes on it matter.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's like the really fucking interesting question. And I thought like just like an important question. Like an important question for people to like actually like take in, think about, and like give some action towards.
I think it's important for both of us, but it does take like the prerequisite is like you think community is important. That kind of stages the question like what is community to you? Yeah. That's kind of where I'm coming from when I think about it.
True.
I think of it as something important.
Yeah.
So I think that you have to make sure you think that way before we kind of discuss it. But I think a lot of us think the same. That's probably what Kubi is insinuating, that community is important and that certain aspects of it lack in ways that we can control.
I think there's an easy kind of spiral to get left into is like seeing and being like, there's a community out there. Or like seeing like, oh, there's a community of people that I'm not a part of.
Yeah.
And then having that just be like the thought around it, and that be the feeling of like I am not a part of a community.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
Even like just with that joke of like, oh, my community's in my basement. It's with my dad, but like,
it is
legit. Like I find a lot of solace in them. Like every time I go down there, and like I know it's a place where like Kubi might hit on me a little bit and make me feel good about myself. Like. Bryce is going to say something so funny and like give me a perspective of comedy that like I was not prepared for. I know that's going to happen.
He will laugh about death.
Like he like there.
Yeah.
That like there is
nothing
so much humor that I am not like prepared or ready for. That
maybe
Bryce
we're not
saying,
supposed to say that word on YouTube. Maybe we should say.
Unalive.
Yeah.
We
should do that, man. Maybe.
We don't have any sponsors yet.
We're okay. We're okay.
But that's a serious like necessary part of the community of in my life.
Yeah.
Like, cause like it gives me like really good headspace and like talk a little bit about fucking Glass with Kubi. Talk about like. Movies or some weird pop culture thing with Bryce and it's I don't know as much like and giving thought to that and giving effort and action into that like even just in the past day has made me go like you know what, I actually do have something pretty cool.
Yeah,
this thing is pretty cool that we're doing, and this it does feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, it feels like it needs to be something specific to like qualify as community. Really, it's just whatever gives you that feeling and whatever like fits the bill for you. It's going to be way different for everyone.
For everyone.
Some people are going to be satisfied with once a year going somewhere and meeting some people, and some people need it weekly or daily. It's different for everyone. Some people need really unfamiliar people, and that is like symbolizes community to them. Some people just need their comfort people, and that's community to them. It's kind of all community.
Some people it's like a very big large group.
Yeah. Like
we have our friend Alicia. She is a
butterfly.
Big social person. She has a massive community around her. But like, dude, I don't need that. Like that makes me anxious.
Right. Well, here's the thing.
But like
it's the same as what is art. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any limits in what you could call art if you actually want to. I think you could call anything that you want to call art. I don't really think it matters.
Yeah.
So only really matters if you wanted someone else to think the same way.
I think one of the coolest things I've ever heard was whenever like I started skating and someone called it like an art form. I was like, what? Yeah, skating is like making art. Yeah.
Amazing. I just see you hitting the
dude. I wasn't even smoking weed at the time. I was just dumb. Like, just stupid.
Amazing. Oh, man. It is art. Dude, everything's art.
Dude, shop culture. Sorry, I want to make sure to hit this before culture. I go further away.
What a freaking glassblower
dude,
topic.
I was talking to fellow buddy glassblower online.
At Fellow Buddy Glass.
Yes.
Go follow them. Just kidding.
I'm being vague for a reason. Like you'll see when the story
whenever it's too
why.
Personal. Yeah.
But they went to a different shop than their normal shop.
Okay.
A different studio than their normal studio,
Eye-opening.
which they had been invited to.
Shit. Watch yourself.
They had been invited to.
Okay.
Like invited out to go to a shop and to to like collab or hang out.
Set the stage a little. Is this the far away thing? Is this last notice? Is this 5 years they've been talking online, buddies? What do we?
I believe chatting here or there.
Yeah.
Hey, see you doing collabs. You should come down to collab sometime.
Cool.
You're about an hour and a half away. Rad. I'll be out.
An hour and a half away. They were looking in my minivan. I know it looks good. But
they're super nice. I forget what their name is when they stop by. They love Bruce and
there you go. They're probably looking for Bruce.
Yeah, no, they're good people.
Hour and a half away.
Yes.
Right, so it's different than like we knew each other. We used to work together and
big time.
We're same town. This is a little different. Hour and a half away. You gotta like get gas.
First time meeting,
time
I believe,
away.
As well, or maybe have met here and there in the past, but like so it's like very much going to a new environment as a new person.
Has some eye-opening
doing
that.
The artist's name is Fen Bocus.
Yeah, so now I'm going to talk about an experience I had, guys, where someone drove an hour and a half out to me, and I hated it. I just couldn't stand them. No.
So they drove out there, and like immediately it was a.
You know what?
I don't want to put too many words in the mouth, but like immediately more of like a kind of big dick in the room who's in charge here. What's this guy that just does marbles and attachments going to do over here with us? Like, I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah. Oh, what's up, bro? Like, what do you want to get down on?
Yeah.
And then, like, just, like, sort of ignoring, sort of focused on yourself, like that sort of stuff.
I'll be honest, that sounds super common.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie,
Shit.
All right, we're getting close to it. We got a cut for an ad. Shouting out Gabbagool Shopmate, Queen Prince Glass. Go follow them.
Yeah, they're fucking rad. Very much experimental art, making anything and everything. If you need waffle pendants, opals, glass butt plugs, you name it.
One-stop shop. Let's get it. We're back to talking about the shop experience. That sounds rather common, unfortunately. It's just sort of the nature of it. So you think about someone kind of holding their own, they're this person on Instagram. It kind of brings it out of people.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Like when you meet them in person, it just sort of like, in some ways, it like naturally kind of is like, they want to be that. They want to, they want to prove like, I got that.
Yeah.
But it is different. Sometimes some people can start like that, work through it, take a dab, be like, oh, what's up, bro? Let's hang. That's kind of a good way of it can go on. But yeah, sometimes it sticks around a little and it's like, dog, we don't need to necessarily do that. It's just kind of making something is also okay.
Yeah.
It's very hit and miss. I've experienced that too, though. And chances are I've been that, it's hard to see yourself, but like, that's hard.
My response to them was that like, it was just like, I feel so lucky. Like I feel so lucky that like, the glass shops that I've been invited to and like that I've been that I've gotten to work around with have been like nothing but this is rad. You know, what's up?
Yeah.
Let's check this shit out. You want to try something? And it's more
Yeah.
me being like, oh, don't I know?
Yeah, weird.
You know, it's
not
every
like
single
that
one of
for
them.
a lot
Like,
of
fucking,
people.
you obviously been awesome. Fucking Primo set me up with a fucking 3-hour class.
Oh, dude, Primo.
You know, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sweeney was nothing but fucking nice and inviting and humble and like fucking even let me jump on his torch for a bit. I was like, I can't get the fuck out. And then Bowser out at fucking the Dabber's place. Like, yeah, like every shop has just been nothing but like ask whatever questions, I'll give you whatever answers, like let me explain what I'm going through, like.
Right.
So yeah, shout out to the fucking Portland glass community that I've been involved with so far.
Yeah,
you guys
shout out Primo, shout out Bowser.
Shout out Sweeney.
Shout out
Ben.
Yeah, man.
You guys are fucking rad.
Thank you.
It's been cool.
Yeah, Portland Dabber, a couple miles that way. What's up, Tanner?
Yo!
Yeah, people are awesome, you know, but also it's a reflection of what you bring to the table. So, like, in all those situations, you're kind of making it be like, dude, these people just fucking kill it. That's wonderful of you. But you actually do, it is a reflection of you in some way.
Yeah.
It is. Because when you're a little less off, like, or a little more off, like I have been in the past, like, it'll mirror kind of what you think's going on. It'll kind of reinforce what vibe you set. If you're like, I don't belong here, you'll start to see like, whoa, there's another reason I don't think I belong here. But you just kind of have a respect you go about it with, and you think like, these are people who are just showing me stuff, and at the end of it, I'm going to go back to my house probably, or somewhere else. That's a sustainable way of doing it. You know?
I think a lot of that definitely has to do with, obviously, like, confidence in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, whenever you have something that you can fall back on and be like, well, I know, like, I'm pretty dope and really good at this. So, like, if you enter a situation where you're not, it's, like, much easier to be humble and be like, yeah, I'm not good at this. Yeah, you want to talk about something like this other thing, like, I can talk your ear off about that. I crush that. But, like, this is your thing, so cool. Let me see what it is.
Right.
Yeah, so I definitely think that's a big help.
Yeah.
You know, like, so, like, I mean, my thing is, like, coaching. Like, I just, like, coaching and, like, helping, like, work someone to do something else. Ah! Come here, bud. Come here. You gotta say hi. No, over here. Walk around. Walk around.
Guest podcast. Coming in hot. I'm
podcast.
Holding
hey,
the
guys. Oh, can you say hi?
What's up?
Mateo, look at the camera and say hi. Say, what's up, dudes? Okay.
Corny Boys Podcast.
Corny Boys Podcast.
Yo, we need to have you and Ben on the podcast, dude. Yeah. You guys can talk about Lightning McQueen.
Oh God, you guys can have your own podcast.
Yeah.
We just talk gibberish at each other.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh, blah, blah. Blah,
Discuss
blah, blah.
the merits of different types of cheeses.
Oh, we try different goldfish.
Yeah. Oh. Goldfish taste test?
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
can do that. What's that?
All right, so
Got to see the little kiddo.
Yeah.
We were talking about just a sense of community, shop culture.
Yeah, shop culture.
How it's pick your own adventure. You've had a great experience. I've had plenty of good experiences, but greatly dictated by what I bring to the table. I've seen it change entirely based on what you bring to the table. Like, meaning my energy, not just the work, like what I expect from it, whether I expect anything from it. Those type of things change things entirely. Because I used to need things more. I used to have a desire, like, oh, let's make the fucking piece. Make the piece. Let's make it. Let's do it. And I let go of that, and now they just make the pieces every time. Because I don't need it. It's something about it where, like, when I was like, I'm going here, and we're going to make a piece today. And I'm going to engrave it and sell it, and that's going to be, you know, that's how this is going to run. And it's like, that's all fine, but, like, I don't know. Just taking it too seriously prevents things from happening in some ways, in my experience.
No, it's the putting too much pressure on her, putting too much too much weight on that crux, on that thing that happened, and
on the results instead of enjoying the process, you know, and just being there for what the process entails. You know, maybe you make something, maybe it's just something fun, maybe you don't make something, maybe, you know, whatever.
Right.
Just accepting whatever experience has opened it up so much. It's just not as serious and more lightweight.
Makes it way more enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's made it me able to enjoy things that I think if I approached the same way as my past, I wouldn't enjoy. But now if you follow me, you see me, and I think you might see me like having fun. I have fun and like go places, meet people, do things, see new shops, see new styles of art, see them make it. Love this shit. I forget what my point was, but it all came from like letting go the need for it. Oh, like, but I enjoy it now because I think my mindset changed. People aren't really doing anything different. I still go places and don't make pieces, you know? And in the past, I would have been like, oh, this is frustrating. Maybe I'll get a piece made with someone someday in this way. Now I just sort of know that that's like the vibe. You go and meet people, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And that now that I like think that way, now I just like enjoy it. I'm like, oh, whatever. Yeah, I can just like go home to my studio and like I can make a piece. That was the freeing part of the collab process too, because now I can make
instead of
decent pieces.
Yeah, just waiting on someone else to make you something to engrave.
Yeah, I like to like engage with shit. I want to have like a relationship with what I'm doing and like really get after it. Pretty prohibitive when you're waiting on other people to make pieces for you to engrave. So once I could do my own, I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine. I can do it this way. It's like changed the game for sure.
You've been heading down to Eugene a shitload.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to Hood Rat shit, a.k.a. Otto, a.k.a. Heady Ditties. He's the guy he works down in Eugene. He owns the brand Heady Ditties, which is kind of a cool brand, dude. I can tell you, like, what
Wait, what?
Yeah, Hood Rat shit is Heady Ditties. Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't make it clear enough.
No
I've been telling him,
shit.
like, dude, I didn't even know. Like, you gotta...
Not at all.
Yeah, I know.
That's fucking sick. To be honest, I thought Heady Ditties was like a brand.
Well, it kind of is. So he comes from a motocross background, and he had connections with Black Fly, which rang a little bell for me, but it's not as familiar as like Oakley to me, but I kind of feel like I'd heard the name before. But apparently it's just like an action sports sunglass company. Yeah. Seems sort of similar to Oakley. Not the style, just like the vibe. Like it's like lightweight, pretty dope sunglasses.
Motocross sunglasses. Like I think when you say motocross sunglasses, a certain aesthetic pops into your head.
So like forgivably, I kind of thought the Heady Ditties. I'm like, oh, you might have found some clever outsourced, aka China or overseas, like way of getting didymium into cool frames or something. But no, actually, Otto actually has a contract with Black Fly. He buys the blanks from Black Fly direct, and then has some way so he knows where to get the right Diddy lenses. Pops them out, adds branding. Or I think he has Black Fly do the branding. Because inside they say getting Diddy with it. And there's like all these cool little touches that you can see in person.
That's super dope.
Oh, dude. And they're really good glasses. They're lightweight and like really comfortable. So, yeah, shout out to Heady Ditties. That'll be our next little ad.
Sweet.
But yeah, he brought me out to do the Holy Fucking Sunday, which is his event every first Sunday of each month. He has people come together as a community.
Let's go.
And just sort of like hang out. It's basically everything you can think of, dabbing and chilling and some glass. A little bit of everything.
That's super dope.
Yeah, but he wanted to have me out to engrave, and through that I was able to meet like, dude, 2 dozen, like people, maybe like a dozen that I've engraved with or done collabs with. Yeah, and then brought me to Frosty. So Hood Rat, to my knowledge, he's good friends with Frosty. I don't know how good friends, but good enough to make the connection with me, so Frosty would want to send me a piece or two, which is a huge blessing. Turned out to be one of the, in my opinion, craziest pieces that I've done. Kind of the craziest workload, at least in the past few years. I think maybe ever. I mean, it was quite a lot of work. The cuts are pretty deep. That's something you might not be able to tell on camera as much, but try to look at the larger lines and how the depth is in them, because like, man, this kind of, it took some meat to some effort to like carve through all that shit. It's like a thick piece, but I'm stoked on how it came out, and it's kind of one of my favorite pieces that I've done. Full coverage, got to throw in lots of shapes that I like, and just the experience with Frosty was really dope too. I think we, in some ways, I haven't met him yet, but in some ways we're like-minded. He likes to crush out work, he likes to get shit done. He likes to follow through on his promises. That was clear. So he said he was going to make a couple pieces. Week later, he's got 2 pieces for me. And he's like, what's the addy? I'll send these out ASAP. Can't wait to see what you do. And I'm like, damn, son. So that's kind of where some of these cats get, is like, it can be a tornado of bad where you like spiral down. It can also be quite the opposite, where if both participators like step up, if both collaborators are like, nah, you don't have to be perfect. Nah, you don't have to be perfect. Nope, we don't have to sell it for whatever. Nope, we'll be flexible. If both people do that, there's no limits to this shit. If you just chill and you're like, I'm cool with Frosty, whatever he did with this. He's cool with me, whatever I did with this. We're both cool if we sell it for this. We're both cool if we sell it for that. Like, that shit's so valuable, guys. That's goals to me. I'm thankful to have it with some of these artists.
Dude, we were talking earlier about, like, because, sorry, this is for you guys. Mm-hmm. Ben's getting work done on his house. He's getting electrical stuff put in. To make a long story short, he might have paid a little more to get something larger put in than, trying to go with just the absolute, perfect situation for his facility and the exact what you would need. And I said, like, dude, at some point, the peace of mind is worth invaluable.
I love the peace of mind, dude.
Like like, as I get older, the more that I will pay for convenience.
Yeah. Like,
the more that I value, the more like the bigger the dollar amount that I put on, like, just personal convenience.
Yeah.
So, like, having a fucking collab and being like, okay, well, I'm not going to sell this for $1,000. I'm only going to sell it for $500, but it was the best fucking experience.
Oh, right.
Versus, like, I'm going to sell for $1,000. It's going to take a lot longer to sell. It's going to be, and it was kind of contentious between me and the person. And, like, we had kind of bad blood, and it was a hard piece. And like, it's like, fuck it. I'll take that $500 price tag. Anyway. Yeah,
right. It's just convenience makes a big difference. And, like, it's kind of keeping it light, Some people, like, even some artists who are really talented, they might not do it much. So it's not to say that they don't either make, like, fantastic work or they're great people. But for some people, the collaborative process is one in a couple hundred, days out of their year. Or, maybe one day a year they have an experience like that for whatever reason. So, like, when you come from that, that's kind of sometimes where the misunderstanding is, because it's like, I don't know, people have different concepts about what role the collab should be. Some people think they're for fun. Some people think they should be, like, the biggest or the highest price because of it. So, the more I've done it, though, the less serious I take it. And that's awesome. That's, like, that shit does me well every time. Because even if it's, like, great, that's awesome. I don't want to, like, get stuck there either, though, because then I'm just gonna be like, oh, everything has to be great. Just, like, enjoy it if it's great. If it sells for a lot, cool. Don't think that it's like that next time because of that. Maybe they all could be awesome, expensive pieces, but just kind of, like, moving on from it, realizing that, like, oh man, makes a difference for sure.
Ego.
Trying to get over it, right? As best we can. It takes work,
dude. It's an everyday thing. It's literally an everyday thing.
Yep.
I got all in my head about something at swimming at the pool the other day. And, like, after probably, like, 30 minutes of fucking stewing on it in my head, just, like, having those imaginary arguments with fucking whoever you're arguing with. They're like, then, trying to see it from their side and, put yourself in the other position and have the same argument. And, like, after 30 minutes of doing that, I was just like, you're just being butthurt.
Right.
Like, you're just being salty and butthurt.
Right.
And, like, you could have spent these last 30 minutes, like, I could have spent the last 30 minutes dreaming about glass. I could have spent the last 30 minutes fucking thinking about something nice to do for Jen. I could, like, that time and effort, like, it's just, could have been much better. And it was all ego. Mm-hmm. I was getting chippy because I had to put lane lines in for something, and I'm like, well, better than if I'm a football team and I'm renting out a field, I'm not going to be expected to go, like, paint lines or, like, I mean, dude, going off the deep end about it. And, like, legitimately thinking back about it, like, should they have put
thumbnail.
Thumbnail.
All right. That's wild. Yeah, well, you better know that the swim industry and the pool industry is having a shortage of employees right now. So I know. That's like the favorite thing.
Dude, that was legit, like whenever I did my whole like thing, like I argued from my side, now I'm gonna try and argue from their side. I was like, okay, so I'm in the facility. I'm going, I don't have the people to do this. And, this the fucking jerk coming in here won't even just fucking throw a lane liner in there too. So why don't you just get in there and do it? It's like, and then 30 minutes later, like, you fucking twat.
Right.
It took 2 minutes.
Right. Dude, there's similarities.
Your swimmers were in the water 2 minutes later than they were before.
Yeah.
Is that big a deal?
Right.
Is that a big deal?
That same attitude, right, is so hard. It's hard not to get activated, though. Like, just because that happens doesn't mean you're not, like, at a good spot. Because it's a process. It's not just that one day, you handle everything right, dude, and you're all good.
Nope.
It's like you dip in and out always.
I fully plan on having these stupid conversations with myself until the day I die.
Right.
It's going to happen. I have way too big of an ego, and I am doing nothing but jobs that enhance that big ego. I'm a swim coach for teenagers that aren't very good. So
older,
I'm getting a whole bunch of kids that are really bad, and after a season of barely putting in any effort, they're really good. And so I got parents telling me how amazing I am every day.
You're taller than everyone.
I got a little It's middle schoolers, so anything I say is super funny to them. So all of a sudden, I'm this really funny guy. Like, everything I say is hysterical.
You're like, big boss, hit the gritty. And they're like, oh! That's amazing.
You say some joke.
Better check yourself.
I've heard 1,000,000 times that they've never heard before because they're 12.
Oh, right. You're like, this is too easy. Yeah. You got to be kidding. Oh, right. Oh, my God. Like, all the dad jokes and shit.
And then fucking glass blowing.
Well, that's good for you.
I make a fucking marble in the garage in 2 hours, and I got someone online telling how much they appreciate my artwork. Come on. Come on. You don't think my ego's like this giant?
Gotta get checked. That's why you have what you have cooking. But we don't have to talk about what you have cooking on the podcast. Okay. We'll keep it under wraps. Yeah, there's huge similarities to that. So what comes to mind is like some of the G's that I've seen at the higher level, which is few. I haven't had too many experiences.
God, banjo.
Yeah,
fucker.
Dude, the banjo and karma class is what comes to mind. So it always activates us when we're like, I don't know if I have to do that. This just feels like more than my 50%. That shit grinds on us. It's hard to get to a space where you're like, all right. I'm telling you, these guys who, at least banjo and karma, they got to the spot where they're like, yeah, I am just a person. If they need to, do the lines, so they need to get the color, they got to do that. They'll do whatever. They'll do it. And,
so that's cool to hear.
I watched both of them sacrifice, I don't know, it's over dramatic to say, selfless. We are just talking about making a glass piece. It's not like they're immediately, changing the world. But you saw them, someone could, do way more work than the other, and it wasn't really thought of that much. It appeared, maybe they're humans, so it's probably processed for them. But there was tons of times where I'm like, oh, whoa, he just did a thing he didn't have to do because it made sense, and the timing of things can continue. And I was like, oh, noted, because when you're at a low level, it's all where I've been,
it's got to be fair. It's not fair.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Let's make this 50-50. And then you see the real G's, and it's just 70-30. Yeah. But then they split it 50-50. It's like, what? All right. So, yeah. They're
higher level of fucking coaching, too.
Yeah.
Seeing this similar of, younger level coaching, it's always, well, fucking has to be same hours on deck. Fucking you have to work with the same kids. And,
right.
Dude, fucking Franz, literally, national record holders on our team that he is coaching. People that are elite of the elite. And Franz is like, yeah, Nick, why don't you go work with them? I'm going to work with the little kids. They're fun. And he'll go love working with our developmental fucking 10-year-olds because it's fun. But it's work that he shouldn't be doing or he shouldn't have to do. But he just jumps in and does it.
Right. So instead of him being an empty bucket where he needs stuff to put in it, he's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
What does like life need
Yeah.
instead of what does he need? And it's like that's conscious of him. That's dope.
What does life need? What is this what's
The
necessary?
new BRZ. I used to have that. I used to have one of those that I bought with 50 miles on it. New 2015 one.
I like the wheels, how they bump out, the bump outs.
Yeah.
Those look ew. Sorry, Subaru.
Speedy.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, nice little, like,
Yeah.
it's not really the classic Pacific Northwest Subaru, though. If you really say you're a Subaru person, it's unlikely you
It's
have
almost
a
like a
BRZ.
Subaru Roadster or something. It's,
Yeah. I like lowered cars and, like, stance shit. I love that shit. So that was kind of similar to that. My plan was to, like, stance it out and go all crazy, but then I lost all my money, and I had to sell it.
Sorry, for those of you that are watching, we have giant windows there and there, so we are seeing cars drive faster. Thus, you're probably wondering what the
Yeah,
fuck.
it's just the fucking peanut gallery. There's ducks out here that lay eggs, which I need to get some eggs.
True.
if you're
we
willing.
got tons.
There's beautiful plants. Really, it's wonderful here. You guys would love it.
Come on out. I should
There you
probably
go.
refrain from that saying.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Anyway, yeah. So all these different experiences, man. It's what you bring to it, though. A lot.
Well, you said, what does life take? I like like, you get to a certain level and it's not necessarily about like how much work is being put in. You're just like, what's necessary for the end result?
Yeah.
And you're just anything. It doesn't matter. You're just willing.
Right.
You're willing to do whatever is necessary for the end result.
Stuff starts to move when you do that, too.
Dude,
the blocks get overcome when you're just like, whatever.
I
Gotta do it.
remember, like, as an athlete growing up, it was always like you're looking at the clock, like hoping that they'll end it soon or whatever. And then, like, if there's 10 minutes left and they just suddenly say, "Oh, we're gonna do one more thing," you're like, "Why? Why not just fucking let us go?"
Right.
And like now, from the other perspective, it's always like, "Oh, I'm gonna go 5 over every time because that's what it takes." So like, I'm gonna be here longer. I'm not gonna get paid for those extra, half hour, 15 minutes, but like, it doesn't matter because that's what it takes, and that's what it takes, so you put that effort in.
Yep.
Dude, it makes so much sense with fucking glass too, and the big OGs. Like,
you gotta have it in you to generate that. When you have to actually love coaching, so that when that time comes, you can follow through. You can't just talk it. You gotta,
and it's a genuine deep down feeling where you're standing there in the moment going, "Oh, this is what it takes," and you are scrambling because you're trying to figure out anything to get that.
Right.
Whereas I think a lot of mentality outside of that is like, how am I going to get done? How can I get out of here? What's the shortest, quickest, easiest way?
What's in it for me?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. It sums it up, right?
Yeah.
Where you're right. Like, what's in it for me?
You're in the conservation mentality.
Yeah.
How am I going to conserve energy, conserve money, conserve output, instead of what is necessary.
Right. You let go of that, and like you can do way more than if you try to keep track of it or whatever.
Fuck, we should be like a fucking like David Goggins podcast. Listen to us. Motivation. What's up?
Oh, motivational podcast? Dude, say less.
That's it.
I'm down. I try to do it in a little bite size. Dude, it's been an honor. Thank you to all of you who respond to the motivational stuff that I post, the little reels and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see you guys comment like, "I needed this today," or whatever. So thank you for interacting with that.
It's super rad.
It's been a theme as I meet other glass blowers too. That's carried some of these interactions more than the glass, to be honest. If I hadn't been someone who would post little motivational clips or myself talking, I don't think I would have the relationship, this small, although I have a relationship, it's small, with Banjo. I don't think I would have that connection without that part of me, because like that's what those dudes like. That's what's different to them. I'm just another glass blower who's 4 years in or whatever. There's other ones like that. There's plenty of other ones like that, but there's not as many who are willing to put themselves out there and talk like that.
You go like this on Google Maps in Portland and you'll find 10 of them.
Dude,
every time you do that, you'll find 10. You do that, you'll find 10.
Let's spit some game for the people. I think most people I can think of will be okay with people knowing they're in Portland. So shoot, dude. All right, Sweeney, Bowser, Portland Dabber, Spirit Animal Glass, That Hippie Kid, Kevin Murray. I don't know. It's not one that I've been to, but I mean, Blueberry 503, Brunel PDX, Main Circle, Power Pad, Gong, Sleek.
Boro, Oregon but he just recently moved. It's still like Oregon area still.
Yep. People after people after people.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Liberty
and then you just go down to Eugene and you're just hitting a whole nother slew.
Yeah, what's weird too is the Eugene one's kind of like, it's like a pretty big area because it's like Creswell, Veneta, Eugene,
Springfield.
Yeah, right? I've just like.
Wait, no, is Springfield up near Corvallis?
Like the homie just said, I gotta come out to my shop in Eugene, and it was like 15 minutes outside of Eugene. So it's like it's a whole, Maddie White's outside of Eugene, Marcel outside of Eugene. I got, I think it's pretty common to get the invite, but I got the invite to go to like the Marcel place, the crazy millie they make in the furnace.
Yeah.
Some person at Holy fucking Sunday, a kind gentleman who is selling jars of BHO where it's like what I make cold brew in.
I fucking love it, dude. I fucking love it.
Like yes. You bring the whole pound.
Yes.
Man, it was really nice.
Yeah, dude. I love BHO. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I love hash too. Trust me. Like no shit. I like fucking rosin too. But like,
there's something about BHO though.
Dude,
I'm not gonna lie. It's just easy.
Melts your brain.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like I fucking like nothing will make me dissociate faster.
Did you know I made a hat pin called Tane Brain? And
shit.
It was the little Bed Bath & Beyond torches we all had.
Yeah,
but it was like a dude made it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know it.
I fuck with the Tane.
So, hard right-hand turn. Let's start fucking talking like BHO versus hash rosin.
This Corny Dads Podcast, we're like...
yeah, we haven't been here in a while. Let's go.
We're ripping the fucking steering wheel.
Woo! Need to clip this out into like 6 or 8 different 10 to 15 minute clips and post them too.
I'm down.
But anyways,
next time if you have your phone, prop it up sometimes so we can get some reels. It's okay though.
Yeah, next time.
Anyway, for this one, we're shouting out Heady Ditties, aka Hood Rat Shit, owner of Heady Ditties and proprietor of Holy Fucking Sunday, the event that I had to come out to meet all these wonderful people. Go support his business, Heady Ditties, and buy his dope glass.
Pinnacle of glasses for glass blowing.
Nickenheiser something.
Oh yeah, fucking shout out Nick Wick, Nickenheiser on Instagram, fucking Nick's Mix. Mm-hmm. So, dude works at Americana, one of the top dispensaries in Portland. Definitely like what I would say is like the Heady Boy dispensary. Like if you're gonna go fucking try and find the best product for the best prices, and it's like first hitting the shelves, you're gonna go to fucking Americana. And hopefully Nick is behind the counter to help you with that shit. He's fucking awesome.
Let's go.
But he brought up something as well. Because like he primarily only smokes fucking hash rosin. Like because he has access to it.
Okay, right.
But, brought up something about BHO. That like, because the big fucking elephant in the room is CRC. Yeah. Being able to stick a powder into the column of the stuff that you're making and have it filter out all the bad stuff and sometimes even get some of that fucking actual CRC material into the end product. You can call it polishing turds. You can literally take moldy, shitty, trash stuff that shouldn't go in a person's body, stick it into a column, blast fucking butane through it. If you have enough CRC in there, it'll filter out enough nastiness that you'll be left with something that looks pretty nice, but tastes awful.
So my question is, some CRC actually is used and not in the final product? My understanding of it was that anything in CRC is like tainted. But is there some way that you use a little bit maybe and it kind of works?
No, so CRC is essentially like, imagine if you had, a big column or a big pillar of weed, and then you blast butane through it, and butane goes all the way down through it. And normally it would I'm being very simple, but I bottom down into a big puddle of shit.
That's all my experience has been.
So
I haven't seen Primo do it.
CRC is essentially you take a puck of sand and it goes there. So that way, whenever the butane goes through, that stands a filter.
It's like a David Goldstein butane blaster. Do you remember the pieces that are called rooster apparatuses?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
like that.
Yeah. It's like a thing of frit.
Dude, if you guys have a good story about David Goldstein, share it, because I've only heard bad stories.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so hit me with some good news if you know him.
So,
OG of the glass game in Portland.
it's that column and you blast straight through.
Trippy. So
Okay.
it filters it through.
Yeah. And I'm doing, again, very, very, very basics, because there's hundreds of different types of CRC powder.
I've got to guess that it's common in other industries too.
Oh,
it's something that exists.
The
They
reason
probably
why it
do
exists
soda
is for food grade, for food.
There you go.
It's made whenever they're doing food grade process. Anything that you fucking eat or drink that comes out of a fucking grocery store that's been processed uses some form of filtration, whether it be CRC or something else.
Whatever's relevant to whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your fruit is pretty much CRC, because CRC is color remediation column. But like, your fruit is color remediated. Whoa. You wouldn't be able to get a fucking green apple here, or whatever, unless you fucking picked it off the tree and had it within a week. But you do a bunch of stuff to your fruit, whether it be genetic engineering or like, covering it in plastic or covering it in like a thin layer of wax to help color remediate it.
Dang.
So anyways,
Trip.
you can do that and use terrible product and make it into something that looks good but still tastes bad, and it could be bad for you and all that stuff. Or you can use it correctly. And that is, you use it to filter out any impurities, like fucking bugs, chlorophyll, wax lipids, and like this stuff that happens whenever you blast. Because whenever you blast, it doesn't just only simply take the THC and cannabinoids, bind them to the fucking butane molecules, and they come out. It strips the plant of a lot of other stuff.
It's like little leaves. It kind of looks like garlic olive oil.
Dude,
Shit, like got all the bits and shit in it.
Yeah.
Maybe, well, I guess when I think of it, it wasn't too much, but just the occasional little leaf. I had a great experience with a buddy blasting in a shed. I even think, guys, I think this is my mind creating a story, but I have this vision of him like a dark shed and him lighting a lighter to look at it. I think it was a cell phone, but it was pretty close to that experience. Like, dude, what the fuck are we doing?
Awesome.
Like, all being quiet because we're so close to other people's like properties, and you just hear.
That's so gnarly.
And I'm seeing it all like bubble and shit. I'm like, this is wild.
So gnarly.
Yeah, dude.
There's a lot. It's a lot different now. There's like, it's called closed loop. So it's like there's no one just going and having it fall out the bottom.
Yeah, that's all it was.
It's all contained. It pulls it apart right away.
Oh.
But yeah, so someone like fucking Primo who, and this is what Nick Wick said that made me go like, duh. He's like, Primo loves his product.
You can tell.
Primo is not, so first of all, at Entertainment.
Search both of those, okay? Because he gets deleted because of the nature of his account. He posts a lot, and it's weed. So
he is on fucking YouTube now, though.
Yeah. Give the man a follow on YouTube and check back to see his collaborators, because the man gets deleted and he makes quality shit. But he processes BHO is sort of what we're referring to.
Yeah. And like you say, like he loves his product and he smokes his product. So it's not like he's just sitting there taking any intake that'll come in, blasting it, and then selling it for as little as or fucking as much as he can get for it. Yeah. Like he is taking the best product that he can find, which in fucking Oregon, like, is really great fucking product.
I'm about to go see it.
Yeah, you are.
Right after
this,
you baby. Yo. They don't run any of it, though. They don't run any of it. It's a flower-only facility. They don't run any of their shit.
He definitely... Well...
Have you seen it before? Maybe run some
in
of
stores.
It? In stores?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's a different facility or something.
So, because
maybe it's that cool.
Not the mitten cake batter, but what was the other stuff that he had before that?
Great Bubba.
Okay, no, maybe it was the mitten cake batter.
Another cake batter variation, I think.
What is it? Yeah. Why am I fucking blanking?
Oh, is it like double? I feel like there's one that's like double cake batter or something.
No, it was. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the extractor. But it was because they actually had the only reason I noticed because I saw the big Louis Vuitton.
Right.
I saw the LV Louis Vuitton.
Okay. Well, that's fair then.
And I can't believe it's the one that has the little record on the
Disco Dabs.
No.
Decibel.
No.
You're gonna have way better. I
probably
just dated myself. Did I just 2013 myself?
I think so, maybe. Nah, there's still
anyway.
Disco Dabs and all that shit.
I used to get something fire. There used to be a dispensary off Division. It was 50 Trees, I think.
Nice.
Back in the day, it was like good though, and it was the only place you could get full melt hash.
Oh shit!
I remember they had full melt of some kind. When it was
That's
like
the
only dabbable thing you could find is BHO. Almost all the BHO also was dark colored.
Yeah.
Back when it kind of did matter too.
Yeah.
Kind of coming back around, wouldn't you agree? Where dark colors not quite as looked down.
Well, yeah, like it was because the whole idea of CRC wasn't even around or whatever, you know? So it was like if you got darker colored stuff, then it was because it was older product.
Oh, right. So now there's less darker shit because people just run it different.
True.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trip. Yeah. Back in the day. Yeah.
Well, that's why like all the hash rosin that you see is super light color is because everyone's fucking pulling it a little early and freezing it right away. If you see like white hash rosin, I always get super suspect of that stuff because like that means that you fucking pulled that plant so early. Like you didn't even let those fucking trichomes cloud over.
So it's that kind of like
clear.
That's kind of like terp fear. If you're pulling so early, you're kind of like, I don't know if this gonna be loud if we let it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, or the fear is like, oh, I'm gonna lose terpenes.
Yeah.
And if I let it go any longer, we're gonna start losing.
The G's say, fuck a terpene. We have enough. But yeah, Primo is dope. It genuinely seems like he thinks about it and he's trying to do the best extract, period.
Yes.
And it's just that his method is BHO. He wants the best shit.
But yes, he is, he wants the best stuff and he only smokes the best stuff.
Hell yeah. Well, man, it's been dope.
Dude.
Back in the podcast.
Big one, man. This is fun. I'm so happy we did it again.
We gotta do
this.
This
is cool.
again.
Thank you guys, anyone that watches this shit.
Appreciate you guys. Share, like, comment, subscribe.
All that stuff.
Stay corny.
Stay corny.